All right, all right. It is the second Wednesday of September, y'all, and we are back with our monthly episode of the Legacy Lounge. And we are everybody minus one tonight. Hey, Shamika, if you're watching, we miss you.
Yeah, we miss you.
But we have the lovely Dee Dee Boutte.
I'm back.
Yes. We'll get all of us will be back soon, right? I think we were all
Yes,
three were
yes,
together last time.
yes, yes. We'll get back to some normalcy. I was on vacation last time. I apologize, y'all.
And, hey, no apologies given. You get to vacation when you do business right, right?
Yes, we do. We get to go, and spend a little time on the beach with the grandson and all the things. So I was real happy about
You look like you came from vacation. You glowing and look at that.
that.
I'm
Thank
like, go take
you.
me one, honey.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yes. So tonight we got another topic for y'all. We're going to be talking about a small mistake that can cost you your entire brand. Um, we talk a lot about branding and marketing and things that are important when it comes down to business. And this is just another small thing that we may overlook. I overlooked it. I didn't lose my business, thank God, but I did forget
Hmm.
about paying that little fee the first couple of years.
Yep. You're not the only one. Same here. It happens.
Yes. And so we're just going to go over some things that you should, be knowledgeable of and what you are at risk of losing by losing your name of your business, cuz some of you may think that it's not a big deal, but we're going to tell you that it can be a big deal,
It
okay?
absolutely can be. It can be. And is because so many people, that's how people find you. That's how people create, brand identity is the name of your business, right? And what happens if you don't have that? What are you without your business name, right? And I
Right.
don't think people pay that much attention to it. So,
Yeah, I don't either. I think, like I said, it's something that people overlook. They start business, and we're told those things in the beginning, but a year later, when it's time to pay those little fees, we forget.
we're like,
And a
oop.
lot of time, you said what?
I said, some people go, oop, I forgot about that part.
I know I ended up messing up because when I first I had an office, and so I changed my
Hmm.
address and I forgot to change it with them, so I didn't get the messages and
Notification.
the
Hmm.
mail. So it's bigger than just making sure you register your business. You want to make sure that you keep all your information up to date, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we say we forget, but Secretary of State here, they're going to mail us.
They don't forget.
They don't forget. That's what I'm saying. They're going to let us know, but they have to be able to contact you. So making sure your information is up to date is, I guess, the first step, really, so that they can communicate with you, right?
Yep. Keep it current. Keep it current.
Now, in North Carolina, for all business owners, it is the same time. Everybody paid that registration fee in April, right? Isn't it April?
Yep, April 15th. It's the
April
same time
15th.
every year. Doesn't matter when you started your business, the renewal's April 15th. And I like that because it's consistency. Everybody gets the same notice. If you started it April 1st, I think I think it's within 15 days. You won't have to do the renewal on the 15th. But if you started in February, your renewal is April 15th. So it's one of those things that, I like because consistency. If you're a business manager or you do something along those lines, an agent, a registered agent for the state of North Carolina, everybody knows April 15th. You go around and make sure everybody has your annual report filed.
Right. It goes in like, and that's the tax deadline too, ain't it?
Oh, and to me, that's one of the reasons why they chose that date. They said, "Oh, you know what? While you out here in these streets doing all the rest of this stuff, let me go ahead and
Let's get my cut too.
exactly. Let me go ahead and clock you on that." So yeah, I do think
Yes.
it's the same thing. Hmm.
Now, are there any tax penalties to that? Like, how does that work? Because like I said, I forgot to do mine the first couple of years, and I don't know if there was any other penalties like taxes and stuff. But that's your
There's
lane.
not a tax penalty per se for failing to register, but the states usually charge some type of late fee.
Okay.
I just saw helping a business client this week, and I saw the late fee for Florida went up to $400.
Ooh.
I bet you won't miss that deadline.
Ooh,
Okay,
Jesus. No, sir.
$400 just to be just. late, not the renewal, not all the other stuff, just to be late.
Right.
Oh
My
yeah,
God.
I would never miss their deadline.
No, it's so much easier to just do stuff on time, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, like I said, this may seem like a small thing. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the small mistake that can cost you your entire brand, which is
Mm-hmm.
not re-registering your business every year. It's something that we should be in the habit of doing, just like filing our taxes. But for those of y'all that don't file your taxes, probably not renewing your businesses either. So y'all need to tighten up,
Mm.
right?
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
That
So
tighten up.
the biggest thing behind that is losing your name. You know, I don't know how important the name of your business is to you. I know how important the name is to me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Branding is super important. And like Dee Dee said earlier, that's how people
Yep.
find you. If they go to search your business and it's gone or it belongs to somebody else, now that client, that business is gone, right?
Right.
And
Right.
also, in order to start back doing business, you have to come up with another business name, right?
Yep. Sure do.
It
Sure
took me a
do.
while to come up with mine, and I don't want to have to come up with something else.
You know, just being honest, my business name is the first letter of my name and my son's name and my daughter-in-law's name. And oftentimes people say the limited, it's the LTD group. And that is for Laura, Lamar, Tyler, and Danette, which is my first name. So it's the first letter of each one of our names. So I will, every time somebody calls me and they say I'm wanting to speak with the owner of the limited group, I know you have never done business with me because you've never heard me say that.
Limited,
And we don't use that. It's the LTD group. And,
right?
you know, so my name means a lot to me. And I don't see it going any place anytime soon. It's legacy focused and minded. It definitely has meaning to me. Even the colors of my brand are associated with my family. So to me, yeah, I would hate that someone came by and just snatched my business up. So,
Yeah.
what do we got to do to make sure that doesn't happen?
Stay on top of your ish.
That part. Okay.
Stay on top of y'all stuff, man. Your business should be. If your business isn't important to you, then hey, go on and go look at another podcast.
Yeah,
But if
right,
your
right.
business
This is
is
not for you.
important,
Scroll, keep scrolling. If you're
right?
not an
Keep scrolling.
entrepreneur, you're not self-employed. We are not here for you, Bookie Boo. Okay. But if you are a
Yeah,
content creator, believe it or not, you are a business. You are self-employed. And I know people don't want to admit that, but them little checks you get from TikTok and those little checks you get from Facebook and IG and all the little places that pay you to create content make you self-employed. Now, it
right.
may not be a lot to live off of, but you need to understand that you've created some type of business. Even if you're selling stuff for Amazon, you're an influencer. You have created some kind of business, and as such, you should conduct yourself that way.
That's right. And the first thing of a business owner is being keeping your business together, and it
That's
starts with
it.
paperwork. If you don't know how to do it, you better hire somebody to make sure they are keeping your stuff in order. Um,
How the girlie say it? Clock that. How the
clock that.
Shamar say it? Clock that. Clock that. You know.
Yeah. So again, um, and for some people, it may be easy to just rebrand. Some people open businesses and they have 3 or 4 names and they don't know which one to go with. And so if somebody
Oh,
make one, it might have done you a favor. But guess what?
right. Right.
It still costs to rebrand. If you have a website, you
Yep.
got marketing flyers and anything with that business name on it, you have to redo that. And I
You
don't care if
absolutely
I
do.
make 7, 8 figures a year. I don't want to pay for something that I already paid for.
Okay.
That's wasting money.
And that's the part, that's why when people change their minds and about, oh, I want to do this kind of business or I want to do that kind of business, that's why sometimes it's hard for some people to get a start because they don't understand that nobody just wakes up and decides to go utilize your business or frequent your business. There has to be a need. You have to solve a problem for somebody for them to seek you out. And if you've solved that problem and then you've made a rebrand, those people may remember the old brand, but they may not remember the new. So when you're branding, you want to do something that's easy for people to digest, right? For them to recall and remember. And so I always try to get people to find something that's authentically close to who they are and what their business means, so they don't have to spend so much energy trying to get people to perceive them as something else. A couple of business partners of mine just went through a rebrand very recently. And one of the things that I had said to her, just being sincere, is like, the brand that you chose, the name that you chose, does not fit who you are as a person. To me, it was exact opposite of who she was as a person. And so every time I heard the name, I didn't see her. And every time I saw her, I didn't see the business name. And we spent some time last week and this week coming up with something that literally looks like her, smells like her, sounds like her. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this eats. Like, I so see this aligning with who you are as a person. And I just wish that folks who understood what they wanted to do didn't worry about what everybody else thought about their business name. Choose something that really speaks to you in your brand, and you'll find it so easy to stay consistent. It's when it doesn't speak to who you are that you always want to get rid of it and change it, because it doesn't feel authentic. And that's why my business name is so near and dear to me, because it is so authentically who we are as a family. You know, I put my children first. I put their initials before mine. I included my daughter in love because she is the mother of my grandchild. Of course, she's family. Okay. So, and I put my oldest son's initial first. He's the oldest son. I put my youngest son, he's closest to me. He's the baby. So to me, everything that I did with my business name speaks to me in my heart. So that's a name that I'm going to hold on for dear life. So if your business name doesn't, to me, have that kind of authenticity to it, then you might want to change it.
Right.
You know, maybe you want something that speaks to you in your business, because I know mine does speak to me.
Right. And it should. We talk about a lot about knowing your why. You know,
Yep.
If you don't get emotional about your business, even down to the business name, I've thought about my business name. It's not personal as far as like my name in it, but rest assured, Life Solutions. I did that because I knew, even though I only knew a little of the industry that I'm in when I started out, I knew it was more to it. So I wanted to be like Life Solutions. Anything I have the answer for. It's not just insurance, it's estate planning, it's retirement stuff, anything financial I can help people with. And rest assured was just, hey, rest assured. Don't worry.
That's
I know
it.
my colors too. My colors, pink. My colors didn't go together in my head, but that wasn't for me to figure out. I said the Lord gave pink for compassion, blue for loyalty, and gold for quality. That's what I represent. I said they sounded kind of Crayola when I put it together, but I gave it to my branding specialist. Shout out to Imani
Alexander.
Imani Alexander with Metamorph. Is that still
Metamorphosis? Yes. Branding. Yes. I know what you're talking about, girl.
We rebranding, but shout out to Imani Alexander.
That's it. It's a mouthful.
She put my colors together. And when she sent me my branding kit, and I'm not saying this to promote my business, I'm telling y'all how you should feel about your brand.
Yes.
When she delivered my branding kit, because she didn't just send me a picture of my logo. This was a whole complete file. When I opened it and saw my logo and saw my colors and my website, I literally cried.
See?
He embodied what I wanted to represent. And that costs money too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it was little compared to the feeling that I got. And if you don't feel like that about your stuff, then you need to rebrand.
See? And look. And when the young lady said to me, she's like, it kind of didn't feel like me. And I was like, well, let's go. Let's change this. Let's do something different then. If you're not loving this, like, to me, you should love your business name. You should love your branding. You should love it. Like, it should emote, right? You should emote something when you see it. And if you don't, then it's not you. It's somebody else's idea. And that's
Right.
kind of how she felt. She felt like she settled on something. She wasn't in love with it. She wanted something, but she just didn't have, whatever it was, maybe the inspiration, maybe the motivation, maybe the confidence. Who knows what? Sometimes we feel like we got to settle, like people won't accept us if we do what we really want.
Right.
And I
We gotta
feel like
stop.
we got
We
to
gotta
stop
stop
that.
there.
We got to stop that. Mm-mm. I do. When I say my brand is authentically me, the pink and the purple that you see back here, that's in my logo. Okay. That is in my
Yes.
branding colors. It means so much. We ain't got time to talk about all that tonight, but I promise you, them colors have meaning. Okay. I am a breast cancer survivor, so that pink means something. Okay.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
my mother had Alzheimer's, so that purple means something. So, it's very authentic and sincere. The things that I speak about when it comes to my business. My business has a purpose, will always have a purpose.
That's right.
And, if you feel that passionate about your business, protect it. Okay. Protect it. Make sure that you do your annual renewals. Make sure you do the things to protect your business. Don't just take it for granted that it's always going to be there, because it's not. Or
Right.
it doesn't have to be. Somebody can come and snatch it.
That's what I was about to say. You like, okay. If you forget to register your business, you lost it. You might can go pick it back up. But
Right.
if something else happens, like somebody else take that name, then you're in an even bigger
Woo,
bind. Like I said,
woo.
we hear, okay, I missed my registration. You might not think it's that serious, but if
Mhm.
somebody took your name, honey, now that person, you can't do business. You until you
Not as
correct.
that name. Not as that name. You can't.
And if you
Right.
do, you could actually be sued for using your own business name because somebody else purchased it and you didn't know because you ain't paying attention to the paperwork.
Right.
That's
Somebody
embarrassing.
snatched. Imagine that somebody snatches up the LTD group and they running around in the streets with it. You know how devastated I would be, because of the credibility I put out in the
Right.
marketplace, that they would be able to steal and present themselves as me. And if people know my brand and they know my business name, or they're accustomed to my logo, and they see it out somewhere and someone else is perpetrating that fraud, do you know how devastated I would be? That would be hurt on a whole different level. So
Right.
yeah, we got to protect our brand. We got to protect our businesses.
Yeah. Because nobody's gonna represent it like you. Like I said, if I was to see
Amen.
LTD and I go call them to do my taxes, and I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't how DD do business. And now I'm giving them a bad review, and it's not
There
even
you
her
go.
because now she
And
done
it's
had to open up something. It could be a big mess. It's a ripple effect. One small
absolutely.
thing not taken care of becomes a bigger problem.
Absolutely. And
So
that's the part that people are not aware of. That's the part that people don't realize, is that if you've spent the time, the blood, sweat, and tears to get your business and your brand to a certain place, and then someone just snatches it and you don't, because of your lack of compliance, then, it's hurtful thing. And now you got to do other work to either rebuild it, get it back. You're in lawsuits, you're in court,
mhm.
all the paperwork, proving all the things. And if you lose it, sometimes your payment processor may want to change. Do you have insurance with that brand name on it? Do you have policies that are covering you, bank accounts? Do you have to change your bank name? I mean, there's so many things that go into just that small, misstep or oversight that can cause you so much frustration later on. So absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. And then Lord, don't let nobody get your business and they trying to scam people. Once
Honey,
you lose, you
scammers
just
and
lose that.
skimmers,
So you said scammers and what?
scammers and skimmers. That's what I
Scammers.
call them, scammers and skimmers. You know, they
Yes.
scam, flim flam.
So for those of y'all that say you may not have known, please share this video. Share this
Tell
because
somebody.
you might not know, but well, you might know, but somebody might not know. We never
Right,
know who needs to hear this. I didn't
right.
know the first couple years of business, and it cost me money. And you don't want to be, like I said, if you lose something, it's devastating and it's unnecessary to have to fight to protect something that you already had because you lost it. And you
Because
can't
you
get
lost
mad
it.
at whoever took it because
That
you
part.
you dropped the ball.
That part.
So
Yep. Amen
if you
to
don't
that.
know if you paid it, you better check. Y'all need to call and check on your business first thing in the morning. Make sure Make sure
Look,
you.
they don't even have to call. Most sites you can pull it up on the internet to see if your business is active. Because I know I do.
Okay.
That's exactly
Okay.
what I do when I'm dealing with new business clients. The first when we get ready to prepare their tax returns, and I
Uh-huh.
ask them, "Are you a sole proprietor or are you LLC, partnership, corporation, nonprofit, whatever it is?"
Mhm.
I don't know why people don't know, but that stuff is public. Okay.
Right. Right.
Yes, can find it out. It only takes a few minutes. And so yeah, someone can go up there. They're vindictive enough. Your information is up there. That's why so many people want to use register agents and virtual addresses and all the things, right, to make it harder for people. That's why people want to register their businesses in places like Wyoming and Nevada and is it Maryland or Delaware? Is the other one on this side of the United States? There's some. That's why BOI was such a big deal because taxes are not being paid by a lot of entrepreneurs, and the IRS wanted to know who they need to look for, and a lot of people are dodging them because they're behind a business. A business owns a business,
Right.
and so it's hard for them to drill down who actually owns the business, who owes the taxes, what's your liability. And
Right.
so, that's one of the reasons why BOI was such a big deal. And unfortunately, the current administration made sure that that was not a thing, which some people are happy about. Kind of I am too. But, because, gosh, can I have something private? Um, but real talk, it is what it is. It's your business, it's your brand, it's your responsibility.
Right. So I was gonna ask now if that this is on a state level. So let's say, well, the same thing applies for state and federal level because some people do have their business registered on a federal level as well.
Well, the registration really comes from the EIN. It's
Okay.
it's a little different on the federal level because the federal level does not have a federal registry. The BOI was going to create that. What they were going to do is that even businesses that don't have an EIN were going to be required to register, and so that was going to help them create a database of businesses all over the United States. And that's why I say that, it was kind of a good thing, but it got kibosh because people are using their businesses to hide. They're using it to evade taxes. A business can own a business, can own a business. And so when you create so many layers, somebody's got to go back and find out who owes what. Does a partnership own this business? Is it a foreign person? And that's why BOI was such a big deal. But we don't have a federal registration. We still don't.
Okay.
Really, the only thing you can do is because the business has to be set up in a state, is that you can check the state registration. The only
Mhm.
thing you need for the federal government is if you have employees or you need EIN for banking purposes, you can get one if you're a sole proprietor. And so the
Okay.
employee identification number, that's what it's mainly used for.
Okay. So what about, I know trade, like getting something trademarked. That's
Mhm.
on a federal level.
That's on a federal level, yes.
Okay.
Copyright, trademark, again, it's an application process. It costs money. I often tell people make sure you have an attorney write it because there's clauses in there that sometimes we don't forget.
Mhm.
We have intangible assets. We have tangible assets. There. Think about some of the people on social media. They're coming out with these phrases like "oh, so cute" and "so demure." That person, Jules. Unfortunately, when she went to brand her statement, "so cute and so demure," someone had already went and purchased the trademark because they saw how popular it was.
Right.
And by doing that, you can license that trademark on products and sell it and receive revenue from it. And that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to use it with, makeup brands she was influencing for, t-shirts, whatever. And someone went and snatched it. And so it was a big, I know everybody's got a different level of connectivity to social media, but yeah, somebody took it upon themselves to help her try to get that back, but it's still something right now they're even arguing about. So,
Right.
just words like "where's the beef?" Just common words that we say. People often try to trademark them. Me bounds. What's that girl's name? The basketball player, Angel. Yeah,
Oh no.
I can't think of her name. I can see her face right now, and for whatever reason, I know her name all the time, but I'm lost for words right now. But she went and trademarked the word me bounce because she said it. She's a basketball player, Angel Reese. And so she went and had a trademark because she said it. And next thing you know, people were saying me bounce instead of saying rebound, it's a me bound. And so she went and trademarked it, and she actually had a pair of sneakers that came out and they were called me bounds. And so she knew enough that it caught on quick enough. Oh, tap, tap, tap. Let me go get this trademark so I protect my brand and my business. And that's what she did. So if you see something and it's catchy, you don't have to wait to go have a trademark. You just have to have the money to go get it done. So, you know, Legacy Lounge, we might have to work on that because we got, we're going to make sure everybody.
I have a trademark slogan that I only use for a little while, but it's trademark. And I'm like, if I see it, I'm going to say something because I own
it. You know how they say, if you see something, say something. Yeah, right. That's how I
see it because I paid for it.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. If you see something, say something. Okay, you ain't gotta wait. You know, but yeah, it's surprising out here. Things catch on fast. Things are very catchy, and social media makes it spread even faster. So if you've got something and it's influential or finding its way into you know, the what do they call it? You know, the communication of our generation. Then you know you might want to hold on to that,
right,
and make sure it's protected.
Yeah, I tell people, even if you don't think, even if you're not planning on doing something with it, like right now, if you think you might want to do something with it, go ahead and protect it. Yeah, you know, you'll have it for a year, and if you don't use it, then just let it dissolve and give it up. But if you feel like you're going to start a business, go ahead and get that name. That's the first thing I tell people to do. I'm like, let's make sure the name is available. It's available. Go ahead and snatch it. If you're not ready to snatch it right now, we're not even about to look at it.
Right.
It could be here today, gone tomorrow, you know?
Because let me tell you something, licensing, if you've ever watched an episode of Shark Tank, licensing is a big deal. I'm often telling people, you know, they make these, you know how there's crafters and they make all these like junk shoes and junk hats and ties and all, you know, these shirts, like people are making shirts for the Breezy Bowl and they've got his image up there and all these things and everybody's just having a grandiose time with that. Do you know some of those images are licensed and you might cause yourself a problem by using them and creating them? Especially NFL stuff. Like y'all don't know that stuff is licensed. If you did not have license to it, do you know if it's not handmade, meaning that you did not hand draw it, if you've replicated it through some kind of machine or artificial means that looked exactly like the logo that represents the NFL team, do you know those people can come snatch your life away? They can do a cease and desist. They can go after your profits. And all these people think it's great to make all these wonderful crafts with these brand names on them. You know how people do it with the Louis Vuitton and the Fendi bags. They'll make their own designer bags out of some other stuff. They'll use the logo. They'll replicate it like Chanel. You'll see the double C's on everything. This is what I do. I go like this. Oh my gosh, you're stealing somebody's licensed brand. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Because it's not counterfeit because you're not trying to make something exactly like what they made, but you are stealing someone's licensed brand. You can't do that without their permission. And so, you know, I'm like the old auntie, right? I got to tell everybody you're doing everything wrong. And that's what I feel when I start telling people. I'm like, don't do that. And I had to represent somebody one time. I'm not an attorney, but just provide him some actual business information. And I had to tell him that, because he got a letter from an MBA attorney because he was making these tables. And they had the logo of the team up there. And he was scared to death because he had put it on Facebook for sale. And, you know, they were like cease and desist and the whole thing. And I was like, yeah. You can't draw the Chicago Bulls on stuff. You can't, take their logo and put it on stuff and then sell it to people.
Right.
That's the only reason why people want it is because it's a Bulls team. I said, yes, but you can hand draw it, but you can't buy a machine and use their logo from their website and duplicate it and put it onto something. You're an artist. You can draw it by hand. and it's not licensed. But if you're duplicating it using machine parts, like people use the Crickets and all these other machines now, that is replicating a licensed product. You can't do that. And so
Right.
that's why we talk so much about branding and your business and marketing and all those things, is because you need to be aware that it's important that you have a brand name, and it's important that you be consistent with it. And
Right.
make sure, if you're out there, please try to stay away from replicated stuff that's licensed. It's not cute when you get those letters in the mail, because y'all post it on social media and sell it on social media, and these filters out here are not your friend. Okay, AI is not helping your situation. Okay, so if you wonder why your PayPal got shut down, or your Square got shut down, or your Stripe got shut down, or your TikTok got shut down, a lot of times you don't even realize it's because you are marketing licensed products, and
Mm.
the platform that you're on doesn't want to be sued, so they shut you down instead.
Wow. And see, a lot of people, like you said, is out here doing this replica stuff and just throwing these logos on stuff. They're not afraid, because these businesses are big and they're like, they're not gonna come after little old me,
They're
right?
not. They're not, but they will if it's in their face enough. If
Yeah.
you do something that damages their brand, oh, they're going to come for you.
Mm.
Now, if you're doing something that probably promotes their brand and makes it look good, like you making little dining room tables, okay, little coffee tables, or you're making a little mug over here for your friends, or you're making little t-shirts, stuff like that, and it looks nice, they'll probably take your idea and maybe make their own licensed product with it. And
Right.
you can't do a thing about it because you use their licensed logo on your product. If you really wanted to make it for them, you should have contacted them and said, this is the design I'd like to create for you. Would you like to buy this design from me? And so I can license it using your logo.
Right.
It's smarter to work together instead of against each other, but people don't think that far ahead. They think, oh, they're not gonna because the sneakers people are doing now, they're getting the
Mm.
Air Force Ones and they're customizing it with fabric and logos and all this other stuff, and
Yeah.
making sneakers that go with the shirt and the pants. I see people cutting up jerseys and
Yeah.
putting jerseys, doing all kinds of stuff, and they're so creative, but you're
Yeah.
using somebody else's licensed product to do it, and that's
Yeah.
where you end up running into a problem.
Right. So I guess, like, let me say, just to play devil's advocate, because I used
Oh
to be one
yes.
of those people that's like, it's a way around everything.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. Oh
I'm like,
yes. Oh
if I
yes.
purchase the shirt with the logo on it, is that logo not mine if I want to cut it and put it on my purse?
Look, and who really kind of started this? Dapper Dan, way back in the 80s, when he created all these outfits using Gucci and Louis Vuitton. When you would see the rappers and all these magazines, and they would have these custom outfits on, you would be like, where did they get that from? Well, he went and took outfits, old Louis Vuitton stuff, fabric, and went and created these looks for people. And using luggage and pocketbooks and all this other stuff, and people were like, oh my god. And that's why the brand started creating bags with all these logos on them, because they didn't exist before. If you look at some of the vintage stuff, there was no LV on stuff, there was no there was no Gucci all over everything. Everything was inside the bag, right? The
Right.
style was on the outside, the branding was on the inside. Well, he's the one who kind of flipped that on its head and said, no, we're going to show you that we're wearing Gucci. We want everybody to see our Gucci, so we're going to put the Gucci on the outside. And so, yes, you bought it, but you bought a light. See, the difference is, if they had not licensed it, they licensed that logo. And so, as a licensed product, no one else can reproduce that. That's why Louis Vuitton, let me say it correctly, Gucci can't go and reproduce LV products, and Chanel can't turn around in their line and put Coach up there, even though they both start with a C. It's because they're licensed products. And if they went and asked Coach for it, Coach wouldn't give it to them. Same thing with Hermes. You're not going to walk around. You want an Hermes bag, but you're not going to turn around and just throw an H on a bag. That's not how it works. Okay. That's not authentic.
That's
You
what
want
it
authentic. So,
Yeah,
but
y'all
yeah.
gotta look into what y'all doing, because everything, which is like earlier, like you were saying, we're underestimating or we're undervaluing the monetization from things like social media, which
Yes.
puts you into a business category, and
Yes.
you need to tighten up that. And for
Yeah.
those who are trying to subtly do business and you're kind of doing it wrong, you need to tighten up as well, you know?
Yeah.
So just do what you're doing the right way. Um,
Absolutely.
there's no shortcut. And if you try to take shortcuts, it's only going to cost you more in the end. So before you go and slap that check on your shirt and sell it as a Nike shirt, do your research.
Swoosh. Look, swoosh. I saw so many people during COVID making Nikes. You know what y'all did. Y'all know y'all had the CCs on everything and the Nike swoosh was on everything. I actually saw people taking it off their Cricut machine and sticking it on the shirt because their child wanted a Nike shirt and they couldn't afford a Nike shirt. So what they did was they created a Nike shirt so the kid could go to school. And I understand it. Trust me. I empathize. I get it. But imagine you did that on social media, it was recorded, and now you got a letter in the mailbox. Was it worth it then?
Right.
No, not so much. So that's the only thing I tell people is just be smart about it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it in the dark. Don't do it blatantly out in front of everybody so they can see. Ooh, because y'all be out here with the most, doing the most.
Brave. I'd be like, whoa, Jesus. I can't. I used to be brave like that 10, 15 years ago. I ain't
I'm
playing
not
with
brave.
balls now.
Mm-mm.
I ain't got time. I got too much to lose. And I don't care if you think you can get away with it. You're never getting away with anything. The longer you
Right.
get away with something, it's going to cost you more once you're caught. And
And it
that's what I
does.
had to tell myself. You never got away
Right.
until, if you still living, you ain't get away with it. Because something can always come back and bite you in your hind parts. And
It
if you ain't
does.
got to check for it, then you're SOL. And
That's
then
right.
at
If you
least
can afford it,
was
yep.
not, yeah. But yeah, this was. I mean, you got anything else on this? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But I
No,
know that.
I mean, I'm a student of business. I like to watch, learn, listen, apply. So I'm always real curious when I see a lot of people promoting stuff that's not there. It's like, come up with your own logo. You know what I mean? Put it all over every stuff. But see, it doesn't have the same right. And that's why people don't do it. There's like, nobody knows my logo. That doesn't have the same umph. You know, the LTD group all over my pocket, but I guess just doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean? So
You,
nobody's
you
gonna be
know
buying my
yes,
purses with the LTD group on it. So I get it. I know why you're doing it, but I'm just telling you that, just be careful. That's all. There's a difference between counterfeit and there's a difference between license. Just because what you bought was not made outside the United States and is not counterfeit doesn't mean that somebody can't come for you because it is licensed.
Mm,
Is and most people who have something trademarked have a licensed product, and it
right.
can be used only with people who have paid for that license because a percentage of what you earn from using that license goes back to the licensee.
Oh,
That's how they make their money.
that's how they make their money, and y'all keep
Yep.
be playing with it by out here y'all trying to make the same money that they made, but they had to go through the hell and high waters and pay money.
Right.
Y'all just want to
Right.
come out here and make money. That's
Right.
not fair to the people
Everybody's trying to make money off of Chanel pocketbooks,
without putting
but
in the sweat.
you ain't paid Chanel for that pocketbook. You didn't pay Chanel for the license. You weren't there. What did Kobe say? Were you in the gym? Doing free throws? Were you there when they were sitting there during the World War and they had nobody buying their products and they were being ostracized in the whole 9 yards? Were you there during those hard times? No, we weren't. We weren't there with Dior. We weren't there with Yves Saint Laurent when he was, the designer for Dior,
Right,
and all these things. We weren't there for the hard times. We just want to take advantage of the good times.
right.
So you got to think about it. Imagine if that was your logo and someone snatched it up and you did all this work. Tell far. Think about, a young designer right now. He's out there doing all this stuff to build his brand. Imagine how hurt he is when he saw that Chinese people were starting to knock off his little Telfar bag. And he's new.
Wow.
Imagine how hurt he was to find out that somebody's just out there just lifting his brand like that. That costs money to chase those people down. So
Yeah.
if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to anybody else.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
And
Go with
hopefully,
something you can afford. I can afford Coach. I can afford MK. Give me a little, what's my, Kate Spade. I stay in my wheelhouse. If I can go to TJ
right.
Maxx and get it, I'm good. That's,
Right.
I don't
I know
need
that's
much in my
right.
life.
And if
Okay.
you can't afford the name, just wear the bag. You know what I'm saying? We got to
Right.
stop trying to be like other people. Because I believe a lot of times we tend to want things because we see other people with it.
Of
You know,
course.
I
Of
never, if
course.
I didn't see somebody else with a Louis Vuitton bag, I wouldn't have wanted it. It's like now I see it, now I want it. And that's not in my
Well,
budget.
no, it's not because you see them with it. You see them with it and you've learned what the value is. You know how much it costs when you go into the store. See, I think a lot of this really started becoming a problem when we didn't know how much stuff costs. It didn't really bother us too much, right? Because you could see somebody with a bag of some kind, but you know how sometimes people will say, "Oh, those LV bags are so ugly with that logo all over it and stuff like that." The brown and the
It's
think
the
about
best.
it. I didn't really find brown that appealing. Keep it real, okay? 10, 20 years ago, no. See, I didn't think the brown bag was cute for me. I was never a brown girl. I'm an earth tone girl now. Can you see brown earth
Yeah.
tone? I was never that person, right? I was always black, 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 black. So when I used to see the brown bags, I was like, "What's the big deal? I don't
Right.
get it. It doesn't appeal to me." But until I learned that even walking into the store, that bag right there was $3,000.
Right.
That's a whole month of salary or 2 months of salary, depending on how far back I went. Right? I cannot afford that.
Right.
So to me, that's where the appeal came from, because you get to show somebody, "Oh, look, see, this costs money. You can't afford this. I'm wearing this." That's where the value came from. Is because
Right.
we were letting everybody know we were giving ourselves a status.
Mm.
We were using somebody else's business, somebody else's brand, somebody else's business to give ourselves value.
Right.
Done.
And how did that work out? you know, we sit here and I say we, not just because I don't people. I'll just say people.
Yes.
We
Yes.
we like to keep up with the Joneses at the end of the day,
The
and
Joneses can't even keep up with the Joneses.
right, like who are the Joneses? What do the
Right.
Joneses do?
Right. And
But
what are they doing right now?
and we'll go broke or we'll skip the necessary bills just to look a certain way or go and buy stuff and put tape on the shoes so you gotta take it back. But you're doing this stuff to impress other people that
Yes.
probably even care less. You know?
And they don't. And
They
they
don't.
don't. They
They
don't.
really, and if that is what they care about, that's then are those people really people that you should be trying to impress? You
Well,
know?
that's the part. There you go, right there.
I
That's
can
the
walk
honest
in
part.
a room full of people that have on $1 million suits, and I could walk in there with a suit from Goodwill, and I will still shine in that room
Girls,
because I'm valuable. You know what I'm saying? And when you get that confidence about yourself, it ain't about what you wear; it's about how you wear what you. You know what I'm saying? It's
mhm,
about how you do things.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I thoroughly agree. I think that we need to put more emphasis on our own businesses. We need to give ourselves that pump. We need to be, as excited about our business as we are other people's business.
Right,
No, I don't have a fancy logo, and no, people don't spend their hard earned money trying to wear stuff with my logo on it. But to me, I think I am just as successful in my business as, some of these other leaders out here.
exactly.
And that's what I'm working towards. I'm working
Right,
so that you look at my business the same way you look at some of these other businesses out here and
right,
brands out here. I want you to have that same relationship with my business that you do with some of the other ones out here. And I want you to have that same feeling for your business and your friends' businesses and your cousins' businesses. That's what
right,
we're here doing as the Legacy Lounge. We're trying to let you know how to build your business to create the generational wealth that everybody keeps talking about,
right.
and not continue behaviors that are hurting our business. We're trying to go back to a black Wall Street and a black Main Street and a black, Grand Street. I want all the street to be black. Shit.
Yes.
Okay.
And it only happens if we keep our businesses in order, y'all. And so
Honey.
keep your be about your business. Stand on your business. Don't just say it. Literally do it. And if
Okay.
you're not standing on business, then that means your business ain't important enough to you.
Mm, mm,
So make
mm.
sure that you're doing what you're passionate about. Make sure you know what your vision, what your mission is,
Yep.
because when it's important to you, you're going to automatically protect it, just like you protect the kids that you love, or your mother that you love, or your husband, your wife.
Yep.
It's automatic because you love them. Your business should be the same thing, the same way. I know it is,
Absolutely.
and I ain't about to let nobody come take mine. You gotta fight me. But no, that's my baby.
Woo!
On my babies. Everything that I do is my babies. I mean, this podcast, I don't do anything that I'm not passionate about doing,
Well,
because
that's
it's
great.
about
That's
making
great.
money. It's about making an impact on, in other people. And when
Hmm.
I collaborate with other people, I also get to learn. I don't know it all. We
Yeah.
learn from each other up here. If you're watching and you ask questions, or or you make comments, we learn from each other. It's not always about one person having to give.
Yep.
We learn from
Yep.
each other, and that's what we're about. We're trying to create this community that everybody say they looking for, right?
That part, that part. Look, look, tap that screen, tap that screen, tap that screen. Okay, y'all, look, show us some love, show us some
Follow,
love.
connect.
Okay.
We are here for each other. We're here for you, and however we can help you, we're here. We might not be sending no cash apps to you, but we're gonna give you some valuable
That
information.
part. That part, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't sending you no cash app.
But we got
Look,
some information. We do, y'all.
okay. That's it. Cash app gonna get all y'all in tax trouble. Okay. Y'all keep playing around in there. Go right
And
ahead. Wait for that 1099K to come in the mail.
yes,
You
ma'am.
hit
When
the
I got mine, I was like, "Oh shoot!" I was excited because I was doing hair, so that's how I made my money. I was like,
uh-huh.
once Cash App came out, okay, now I can. I felt a little bit more organized because everything was
Hmm.
right there instead of cash. And yeah, but y'all gotta be careful, man. Y'all sending money. That's a whole nother topic.
Right, right. Look, we're going to have to make that one next month because the folks don't recognize they out here hustling backwards.
You're
Okay, they
right.
hustling backwards. They
So
think they bypassing stuff.
yes, ma'am. April 15th is the date. Y'all make sure that y'all are registering your business and filing your taxes. They go hand in hand.
Yes,
All right.
North Carolina, North Carolina.
Yes,
Yes.
if y'all need a tax person, Dee Dee is the one to go to. And she has been doing
Woo-hoo-hoo.
it she did mine. I passed off my taxes to Dee Dee this year.
Can-
I've been doing my own taxes
That's
forever.
it. Can you believe it? But I'm gonna get her. Yeah, trust me. We're gonna get her a tax office down there. Trust me when I tell you. I'm gonna make her a tax. Look, I'm gonna make her a tax insurance specialist before you know it. Okay, look, there's enough
Hey,
work out here for all of us.
multi streams, honey, multi streams.
Always the way shoot. If y'all don't know, you better come. You better ask somebody because y'all gonna need tax professionals. These business taxes out here is brutal.
Ain't no AI gonna take over doing that.
Right? They
They
can't.
got
They
robots
can't.
doing everything. Y'all don't want a robot doing y'all taxes now.
They
Y'all
sure
don't.
don't. Because let me tell you, you think it's gonna worry about your deductions? You think it worries about your deductions now? No, it wants to tell you how much you owe, and that's it. Okay,
Yup.
think about it. It is not in your corner.
It's we working for straight for the government.
That's right. That's right. Get it while you look. Get it. Look, I'm about to start singing that song again. Get it while you live it. 10 toes down if you're standing on business.
Girl,
I'm a.
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it's stuck in my head. I don't know who I think I am, but I swear I can rap. Okay.
You can look. I was like, if I wasn't doing what I was doing, if I had a ghostwriter, I wish I could write, but if I had a ghostwriter, I would be a rapper, like in a whole other life.
Really? I tried it. When I was what? I was 10, 12 years old. I had the name Bell. It said D Ski. We
I
had a
could see you
little
rapping. You be having your little trap on when you.
look, I do have my little trap moments because I swear you can't tell me I'm not hip hop. I believe like that. What do you say? When you fell in love with hip hop, I remember when I fell in love with hip hop. You them
Oh,
big speakers, keep on moving, soul to soul. That was it. I was toast. You cannot tell me anything.
I think the
That
first.
beat hit and I was done. I was over. That was it. I was in love. So yeah,
I
some
grew
of
up
us
with
know when.
to all gospel. So when I first heard the first hip hop song, my mom was actually
Uh-huh.
playing it. It was hip hop hooray ho. I was like,
Hey,
what's that? And that's
hey,
I know it's the first rap song I heard. I was like, okay,
what?
I like this.
The first one I learned all the words to was Rapper's Delight. My parents had the album. I was 9 years old. I sat on the floor and wrote down the words, and you would stop the record player because, guys, these were on vinyl. We had the vinyls. Matter of fact, it's in my garage right now. It's on vinyl. You would stop it and wrote down the words, and then we'd go back and play it. That's how we learned to live. There was no lyric, you could go to there was
Look
no
them up
internet.
online. We had to write it down and listen.
Right.
Yes, we
There was
did.
no internet, so yeah, that's how I learned words to songs. We would play them until our parents were sick of hearing them, and that's how we learned the words to songs. So yeah, that was my first rap song I ever learned, was the Rapper Delight, because during Saturday card parties, they played that thing like to death. So I had no choice. Okay, I had no choice. But yeah.
Well, it is 7:50, and I think we have shared enough information for y'all to study and look into and apply.
Yes.
And if y'all have any topics that y'all want us to cover, please feel free to send either of us a message.
Absolutely.
If you're not following us, go ahead and follow us. We're good people, we love you, and we're here for you. So this has been another episode of the Legacy Lounge, and we will see y'all next second Wednesday
in October.
Yeah, next month, second Wednesday in October.
October. Look, I was about to say, she's like, yeah. I'm like, in October, second Wednesday of October, we will be back. So look for us. Send me your questions. No, I'm not going to look at your whole tax return and figure out what's wrong with it. So that's not a question. That's a service. Okay, book an appointment for that. But we will be happy to answer questions. We're going to have an amazing topic for you next month. And I look forward to connecting with you and the boss lady here, the insurance guru, the specialist of all things insurance, the team builder, you name it. She is it. Okay.
We are it. And our partner in crime that's missing.
Yes, Valencia.
Yeah. So y'all connect with us. Like she said, send us your questions. We don't mind. And we will see you guys next month.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good night.
Look, I'm doing my little
miracle.
My little wave. Okay.
Oh man.
That is it.